awful lot of clouds and precipitation showing up on radar. Even into Boston, some light snow. And New York, you're right on the line. Some rain on the South Shore of Long Island. By the time you get to northern Queens and Nassau, snowing hard. It's still above freezing, starting to stick around LaGuardia. Newark, the changeover, and on into Caldwell and Teterboro, snowing a little harder. And snow real hard now around Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and Reading and Middletown. A little bit of dry air coming in through West Virginia and parts of Pennsylvania. It's even turning off right now, at least for the time being. But New York City, some heavy, wet snowflakes, Binghamton area, Catskills, and some rain, Philadelphia on toward the south. Toward the south, look at these thunderstorms, especially just south of Atlanta. You could even have an isolated tornado in here, then another line of storms with the cold front coming out of Alabama as we're looking at some rain on up into Tennessee for the most part. The west, new snow is coming down on the jet.
Forecast. Accurate, convenient, and dependable. Only on the Weather Channel.
Thanks for joining us here at the Forecast Center. Coming up over the next couple minutes, we'll have a look at a snowstorm that is developing through the middle of the nation, and it is heading to the northeast. In New York City right now, you are on the very edge of seeing some significant snow. We'll investigate that possibility. First of all, let's show you some of the scenes from Texas. Of course, around Dallas you saw some snow, but to Abilene you also saw some snow. About 2 inches officially in Abilene. Today we are looking at cloudy skies in Abilene, and it is cold. The wind chill is down to 9 degrees. Normal high around Abilene is into the mid-50s, so quite a cold day in Texas following the snow. The snow didn't really start in Dallas till yesterday evening around 6 or 7 p.m. and most cases less than 1 inch, but when it was coming down, it came down pretty heavily and there were some accidents. Looking at the rest of the nation, this is what we've seen from our storm. Of course, as mentioned, from Abilene to Dallas, a general 1 to 3 inch snowfall, but the snow now picking up across Missouri and into Indiana, and the snow continues to Pennsylvania, and the snow actually is also picking up to southern areas of New England. Our satellite photograph showing a very disorganized storm center. The storm center itself is actually in central to east central Tennessee. That will continue to jump across the Appalachians, and we may see redevelopment off the Maryland-Delaware coast. So the forecast for New York City is a very tricky one, as cold air from the Hudson Valley has drop southward. Right now, that low pressure area in northern Alabama is now making a move across eastern Tennessee, and it is going to be heading off the Virginia Capes and the Maryland-Delaware coast. That's when we'll have to watch closely the forecast for New York City. Some snow right now in Harrisburg. It's snowing to Indianapolis. It is snowing also in St. Louis. But farther south, where we have tropical air, in Florida, also portions of Georgia, 2 tornado watches. We do have a few radars showing the latest conditions of the storms that are just beginning to form. Looking at Georgia first, what you're looking at here is thunderstorms, some of these possibly severe from near Atlanta southward to just to the east of Columbus. Also a weaker line of storms northwest of Atlanta. Best chance of seeing some heavy storms will be near Macon and across central Georgia, so we will watch these storms as they continue to develop. Also into northeast Florida around Jacksonville, you have seen some of these thunderstorms. There have been quite a few warnings this morning into early afternoon. The thunderstorms continue to develop along the eastern coast from Orlando to Daytona. In fact, around Daytona, you have seen very heavy rains recently. In the cold air much farther to the north, we see some snow stretching from Indianapolis to St. Louis, moderate snow near St. Louis, and near Bloomington. You have seen heavy snow recently, and it continues in the heavy to moderate category. Closer view of some of the radars will take you to St. Louis. You're still right in the heart of it. The moderate snow continuing into central Illinois to near Indianapolis and Bloomington. You see the darker green, that is the heavier snow, and snowing into northern Ohio. But Pittsburgh, very unusual at the airport west of town. It is snowing, but Allegheny County Airport east of town, we actually have some rain. Radar of New York City, here we go. We see the snow-rain line right at New York City. In fact, at LaGuardia, now changing the snow as colder air from the Hudson has made its way south. Possibility of up to 6 inches now in the northern and western suburbs, and we will have to watch very closely the forecast for New York City to see if that cold air stays around the city itself or if warm air moves in from the ocean. Now I'll toss it back to the studio. Dennis Smith has your forecast.
Thanks so much, Rich, as it will be a tricky forecast for those in areas of the Northeast. We're talking about some rain that continues throughout much of the region from later on this afternoon from Tennessee all the way back into Georgia into Florida. More heavier thunderstorms pressing on up into areas of New Jersey. More snow from St. Louis all the way up into New York City. Boston, yours is on the way. But watch out with this strong impulse down here in the deep south. That's going to generate some very active thunderstorms, especially in Georgia, back into areas of Florida. That's why tornado watches remain in effect through the early evening hours, encompassing the area from Macon to Valdosta, Jacksonville to Orlando, all the way back out to around Tallahassee. Be prepared to move to a place of safety if threatening conditions move in. As we look at high pressure continuing to press on southward, this storm system very important for the Northeast tomorrow morning. Snow in Boston, but that mix going on around New York City and out to Cape Cod, snowing in Albany, all the way back into around Allentown, Cleveland, Columbus, skirting on back into sections of Cincinnati. Another storm system, a weaker one, develops in the Rockies, pours into the plains. It will be windy, but note it's right on the heels of this one, with more snow continuing from Williamsport all the way up to Albany, Burlington to Boston, Portland and Portsmouth. The snows will continue. Heavier precipitation as the storm pulls on off towards the northeast. Looks like more rains from much of Washington state as well as the snows continue to pile up. Areas around Evansville to Indianapolis, all the way from Allentown to Albany. More snows going on back out into the Sawtooth mountain chain into areas of Idaho as well. Pretty nasty scenario. We're in the heart of winter, and boy, it's coming down as we find single digits and teens embracing the northern tier of states this afternoon. That's the best we can come up with. 60s, 70s, and 80s with that warm weather also feeds the potential of some severe weather, so we'll keep you posted. Teens below zero, single digits. Pretty darn chilly. I think I'll throw on a long underwear and an extra blanket. Maybe a 3-dog night tonight in the northern plains. And look at the chilly air settling much farther to the south. I guess if the calendar says January, we better start looking like winter nationwide. And believe me, we will this first week of January. Look at this. Highs. Those are not lows. Highs on Thursday, single digits below zero. 40s as far south as Charleston and Savannah. Pretty chilly stuff. Slow moderation along the Gulf Coast states, 70s in the southwest, but here comes some real chilly air. It's going to stick around for a couple of days, embracing even Kansas City for highs in the teens, Chicago in the 20s. Looks like New York City will probably be up around the 30-degree mark, even into Sunday, that cold air shuffling on off towards the east. Few showers, a few snow showers developing in the plain states. That will gradually lift on off towards the east. Nothing like the storm we're dealing with now, but still some snow showers will affect your travel plans. Freezing drizzle in eastern Washington state on Friday. Scattered rains along the coastline. Another weak impulse with flurries in the northeast. Overall, a dry weather pattern through Sunday with just a little bit of light snow or rain. But it looks like the temperatures will hint a little bit towards the much colder regime. We'll be looking at your Florida forecast out from central Missouri along Interstate 70 all the way up to Interstate 69, 76, Interstate 80 affected in Pennsylvania back into the northern areas of the Ohio Valley, and also a lot of rain expected in Kentucky down into Georgia and expanding to North Carolina. Quick look at the radar will display some active thunderstorms rumbling in Georgia and Florida. Note the yellow, orange, and red. That's lighting up the skies. And this band from southern Kansas to Boston, all in the form of snow and more yet to come. Our rainy travel areas, we urge you to back off the highway speed in the southeast and in the Pacific Northwest. Could be some strong and possibly severe thunderstorms. Be careful with travel plans along Interstate 75, 4, and 10 as tornado watches continue for that area. Snow will expand from central Missouri all the way into Massachusetts. That will continue to be in the same general area tonight, more in the northern Rockies, and accompanied by some gusty winds. Keep a firm grip on that steering wheel as you slide around on the ice. More snowy weather with Rich Johnson.